Since the time of the Romans, people have built millions of miles of roads. Some of them boring and uneventful, some of them quite extraordinary and unique. Today we're going to be looking at 10 of the most unbelievable roads in the entire world. Personally, I would stick around until you see what number 1 is. It's one road that I'm sure you should traverse at least once in your life. Number 10. The High 5 Interchange. This 5-level marvel of engineering can be found on the outskirts of Dallas, where Interstate 635 connects with US 75. Construction crews, despite the project's enormous scope, were able to complete the labyrinth of lanes in December of 2005, a full year ahead of schedule. This highway was built because of a very specific problem. There are just too many cars on the road. Unfortunately, building wider roads is not always the solution. The solution for Dallas? Go vertical. Certain points of the High 5 are as tall as a 12-story building, and about 500,000 commuters pass through it daily. The project required 37 permanent bridges and 6 temporary bridges to be built. Additionally, 300,000 square feet of retaining wall and 74,000 square feet of drainage pipe run along the interchange. In 2006, the American Public Works Association selected the interchange as one of its public works projects of the year. Number 9. Trollstigen. As one of the most famous national tourist routes, Trollstigen is a virtual feast. If you see it from the right height and angle, you can feel the view hit you in the stomach. On this road, even the bravest can feel the adrenaline pump through their veins. This mountain pass in southwest Norway opened in 1936 after 8 years of construction. Trollstigen aptly translates from Norwegian to English as Troll Ladder. 11 hairpin turns takes drivers 2,800 feet above sea level with an average grade of 9%. This scenic road is accented by the Stickfossen waterfall, which runs down the side of the mountain and is crossed by a small bridge on the way towards the road's apex. Sections of the pass were cut directly into the face of the mountain during the 1930s. The pass tends to open in late May and sometimes closes through June because of the region's harsh winters. What makes this road more special is the Trollstigen platform. This, along with 2 other viewpoints, are located at the top of the mountain, where visitors can see all the way down the mountainside. The largest viewing platform juts over a ledge to hover 200 meters above the Trollstigen road that snakes up the steep mountainside. The platform has various viewing points suitable for both the bold and the cautious visitor. Number 8. Capulin Volcano Road. This twisting road climbs Capulin Volcano, a defunct cinder cone in northeast New Mexico that erupted about 60,000 years ago. It also has a circumference of about 4 miles at its base. The first road ascending this volcano was completed in 1925. It's a 2-mile paved road spiraling to the volcano rim, located in the high plains of northeastern New Mexico, USA. The road climbs up to 1,200 feet above the sea level, and it's one of the most accessible volcanoes in the entire world. The surface of the road is asphalt, and trailers and towed vehicles are prohibited. Bicycles and pedestrians are only permitted when the road is closed to vehicles after park hours. Due to its climb and elevation over thousands of feet and pass through remote areas, it is important when driving in these conditions to be prepared. Always check weather forecasts before leaving home, and remember that it becomes cooler and often more prone to storms at higher elevations. So always be prepared with jackets, water, and emergency kits in your car. Number 7. The Dalton Highway. This highway was built in the 1970s to run parallel to the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. It runs from Living Good, Alaska towards the Prudhoe Bay oil fields. If you've seen the TV show Ice Road Truckers, then you're familiar with the James W. Dalton Highway, a 414-mile stretch of gravel and dirt that runs from the town of Living Good up to Prudhoe Bay and through some of Alaska's most remote wilderness. How remote is it up there? Well, there are only 3 small towns along the way. Often the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline, which runs parallel to the road, is the driver's only companion, and from the midpoint to the end of the road, you won't find gas stations, restaurants, rest stops, or even hotels. In fact, you won't find any services of any kind over the entire 240-mile stretch. In other words, if you love lonely roads, this is the drive for you. The Dalton Highway makes the cut because of its extreme remoteness and desolate design. Nearly all other 414 miles of the road are unpaved, loose stretches of gravel. Still, with a rugged vehicle and plenty of supplies, it's still possible to traverse this extremely lonely road. Number 6. Yungas Road.
Welcome to Death Road.
Don't expect to find guardrails while traveling along the Yungas Road from La Paz to Corroquio in western Bolivia. The road ranges in elevation from 4,000 feet to more than 15,000 feet, and is as narrow as 10 feet in some sections. North Yungas Road, known as Death Road for all the reasons you'd guess, driving up or down this 43-mile switchback is extremely perilous due to fog, landslides, cascades, and cliffs that drop 2,000 feet at every turn. The road seldom gets any wider than 10 feet, and many crosses stand as memorials to those who have perished there. Nearly 300 drivers were killed here every year until 1994. It's no wonder it got the nickname. Until 2006, North Yungas Road was the only option for traveling from Coroico to La Paz. The road was no wider than 1 lane and was used by any vehicles willing to make the trip. Finally, in 2009, the government constructed a new road by a mountain range close by. Today, most of the deaths are from local workers and backpackers still taking the infamous road. Tour operators also lead bike rides along the road, and it is believed that more than a dozen cyclists have lost their lives here in the last decade. Number 5. The Magic Roundabout. This juggernaut of a junction opened in 1972. It was originally called Country Island's Ring Junction, but later was officially named the Magic Roundabout, a reference to a 1960s-era European television show for children. In Swindon Town Centre, just next to the local football stadium, is a junction where 5 roads meet. Until the 1960s, it was a standard roundabout, the usual British way of dealing with unusual multi-directional junctions. But even then it had traffic problems. Thanks to a rather daring bit of design work, it is now a ring junction, a vast skid pan of tarmac on which are painted 5 mini roundabouts, one for each approaching road. They are linked by 2-way roads forming a ring. Therefore, approaching it, you can turn either left or right on the roundabout and proceed around it in whichever direction provides the shortest route to your exit. You can also spin round and round in the wrong direction, if the idea of going against usual road convention gives you a sort of thrill. Standing at the side and taking in this majestic sight, or indeed driving up and waiting to join it, gives the onlooker a panorama of vehicles all swirling and swooping past each other in what appears to be randomized, terrifying chaos. Number 4, and I'm pretty sure I'm about to butcher this, the Atlantshavsveien. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I butchered that. This road, better known as the Atlantic Road, is a 5.4-mile stretch of road on Norway's west coast that opened in 1989. The Atlantic Road is part of the 36-kilometer-long Atlantshavsveien, that word. The road's roller coaster feel, curvy bridges, and phenomenal views have made it a favorite of road trippers and motorcyclists. The construction of the road also started on August 1983, and it took 6 years to be finished. Its 8 breathtaking bridges have become one of the country's most popular tourist attractions. The weather in the area is also unpredictable and harsh, with visibility disappearing quickly. Strong winds and sudden temperature drops as well. This road has been heralded as one of the most spectacular roads in the world by the DangerousRoads.org users. It's a very popular tourist attraction in the country. The road includes 8 bridges with a total length of 891 meters that connects 8 different islands. It was also designated a cultural heritage site. It's considered a national tourist route and has been recognized as the Norwegian construction of the century. It's one of the most famous scenic drives in all of Norway. Number 3. Highway 1. Route 1, or the Ring Road, is a national road in Iceland that runs around the island and connects most of the inhabited parts of the country. It is roughly 830 miles long, and most of Iceland's most famous tourist attractions can be found on its route. The road was completed in 1974, coinciding with the 1100th anniversary of the country's settlement, when the longest bridge in Iceland crossing the Sequoia River in the southeast was opened. Highway 1 is better known as the Ring Road because it forms a giant loop that circles the whole of Iceland. Much of the road has only 1 lane heading in each direction as it dices through fjords, cuts across the country's subarctic desert, and curves along the Atlantic coastline. The Ring Road is especially tourist-friendly, hitting most of the major Icelandic landmarks, though drivers should be prepared for unpaved stretches and antiquated bridges. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Are both of these roads real or fake? Or is only one of them real? Or are they both fake? Well, you're about to find out. Number 2. Roller coasters. We have 2 photos in the day's best pick and only one of them is real. Can you spot which one is real and which one isn't? You give up yet? It's a hard one, that's for sure. Well, for all obvious reasons, the photo on the right is not a real road. According to some diligent internet sleuthing, this image was inspired by the first level of the Sega Genesis game Sonic the Hedgehog. The second one, however, is terrifyingly real. It's called the Eshima Ohashi Bridge. The mile-long bridge, which spans Lake Nakaumi linking the cities of Matsu and Sakaiminato, looks less like a bridge than a massive concrete roller coaster. At its steepest point, the bridge has a gradient of 6.1%, meaning that you wouldn't want to be stuck on a jam on there without a sturdy clutch. And if you're wondering why someone would build a bridge like this in the first place, it wasn't because they'd been on the sake, but it's so ships can pass under.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Hana Highway. Hawaii's Hana Highway runs along the northeast coast of Maui and is constantly cited as one of the world's most scenic drives. It is a 64.4-mile long stretch of Hawaii routes 36 and 360, which connects Kahului to the town of Hana in East Maui. To the east of the Kalepa Bridge, the highway continues to Kipihula as Hawaii Route 31. Although Hana is only about 52 miles from Kahului, an uninterrupted car trip takes about 2.5 hours to drive. This is because the highway is very windy, narrow, and passes over 59 bridges, of which 46 are only 1 lane wide. There are approximately 620 curves alongside Route 360 from east of Kahului to Hana, and almost all of it is through lush tropical rainforest. Many of the concrete and steel bridges date back to 1910 and all but one are still in use. Guidebooks often devote large sections to traveling the highway leading to the eastern side of Maui, documenting the many waterfalls and attractions that can be found along the way. Which unbelievable road would you like to see? Let us know in the comments section below. Want more videos about unique and amazing things? Click on any of the videos you see on the screen. As always, thanks for watching everybody, and you all have a great rest of the day.